Good morning, everyone. This is Dan with Senior Ministry E-Bike Nation. We're just going to do a 10-miler today. We're going to go up to the Food Blessing box, and I will be taking Nostalgia with me. This is the electric bike company Model R. This is what we'll be riding. So I will see you on the trail. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan with Senior Ministry E-Bike Nation. We're only going to be doing a 10-mile ride today. We're going to be running up to the Food Blessing box. And drop some food off. So I've got my electric bike company Model R out today. As I mentioned, it's my most comfortable bike to ride. A little breezy today, wind coming out of the south. I'll probably start out in pedal assist 4 once I get on the trail, and we'll bump it up a little bit once we get going. Because I have found out the most comfortable speed on this one is pedal assist 5. So we'll bump it up to pedal assist 4 here. Actually, we're going to go to 5 here. Should be able to do okay on 10 miles for sure. But it's certainly a very comfortable ride. Again, this bike is built for comfort only. It's not built for speed. You're not going to get about 20 miles an hour. Now, you can de-restrict the speed on it by settings in the computer, but I did that and my battery usage degraded very quickly on a 20-mile ride. The battery was almost completely empty when I got back on a 20-mile ride. So I called the electric bike company, and they told me that that bike is not really built for higher speeds. Even though you can do it, it's not recommended. Now again, in pedal assist 5 on this bike, and I can feel it again like always, there's like a surge in this motor. I don't know if it's really trying to push it up to the 20-mile-an-hour marker that it will do, but I seem to be riding at about 18.6, 18.7 mile an hour on pedal assist 5 as a norm. Had a beautiful ride. We went up north yesterday, put the bike on my rack and drove my truck up north, and like I mentioned, that's when I fell on the bike as I was getting off of it. I have fallen twice on that aerial rider now, so I'm thinking that's a bad omen. I got both of my headlights on today. I've got my Corona on as well. And you can see off my hand how it flashes in the daytime, and that's really bright. So again, Jersey Style turned me on to that one of my subscribers. And that's a very good lamp. I'll probably get it for my other two bikes as well. And of course, this bike's got a really good headlight on it. It might be 1,000 lumens, I don't know. Where this Acruna, the one I just showed you, is a 1,600 lumens. So it's much brighter. But this one's got some really nice running lights on it. Take my key out of my battery key I had still sticking in the bike. Take that thing out of there. Don't need to lose that on the trail. I'll probably use this bike an awful lot just to go to the food blessing box and back. 10 miles, that's a good steady ride on this bike. Now I notice when I get to about 19 miles an hour, I don't feel that lunge or that surge in the motor like I do at 18 miles an hour. I don't know if that's normal on that. I'm going to check with Electric Bike Company and see if that's kind of normal. Beautiful day today. It's kind of overcast. Not as sunny as it was yesterday, but temperatures are about the same, if not a little bit warmer. I think tomorrow it's even supposed to be in the 60s. And my bike computer is showing 57. So it's a beautiful ride, day to ride today. Got a lot of running to do this afternoon, so that's one of the main reasons I'm doing a shorter ride today. And I'll do that occasionally. I'm not going to ride 20, 30 miles on every ride. It's too long of a video, for one. And I've even noticed on my side rusher, the back tire, and I've got about 1,500 miles on it now. The back tire is already starting to get a little bit bald. Now, not as much, the front tire don't have it, but all the weight is on the back tire, including the rider. So you're going to wear your tire down faster on the rear, just like you do in a car. Well, I'm sorry, take that back. Where most of the weight is going to be on the front of the car, is that's where you're going to wear your tires out quicker. And that's why you got to rotate them. Got it backwards there. On your left. Scared that poor girl to death. She was getting ready to turn around as I went by her. It's a good thing I hollered. This does have some pretty good torque in pedal assist 5 from a stop. Get you across intersections pretty good. Actually gaining a little speed going up this hill without using the throttle. topped out about 18.3 without the throttle. But I noticed going up that hill that I bumped the watts up to about 9 to 950 on an assist climbing that hill. I might have a couple bikes coming in here. I've got 3 companies right now are interested, but the one that I was really most interested in, Gail up out of Michigan recommended Rad bikes. They're probably the #1 e-bike company in the world. She said they've been trying to get a hold of me, but I have not heard anything by email or phone. But they're supposedly going to send me the trike, and I'm really interested in that bike because my wife is overweight and she's got balance problems, so that bike is going to be perfect for her to get out on the trail with me. So if Rad would be kind enough to send that bike to me, we're going to solve 2 different purposes. I'm going to be able to review that bike several times for seniors, and I will be able to ride with my wife as well. So I'm just kind of hoping that they do reach out to me. Haven't had this bike out in about a week and a half, so like I said, I'm trying to rotate all 3 bikes. I think my aerial rider may be taken out of the rotation as much because, like I said, I've fallen twice on that bike now, and it's due to that high bar. I know that. When you get older, that high bar becomes a problem bending that bike over to get on or off of it. Where this bike and my Cyrus or Komoda, you only got to step up just a little ways to get over that bottom bar and you're on the bike. So any e-bike companies out there that want to send me a bike, I would really like to see you send me step-throughs that I can review, especially for seniors, because I'm 71 years old, and there's seniors a lot older than I am ride these. So, and people with minor disabilities, they're going to want a step-through as well. I would have probably not fallen yesterday if I would have not had to start to lean that bike over, even on that incline. But I had to lean the bike over and I didn't pay attention to the surface, and that's when I went down. Again, everything was fine, didn't get hurt, no scratches, no bruises. But I was mentioning to one of my subscribers that you know, as we get older, when we fall on these things, we can, #1, get seriously hurt if we're not careful. And #2, it takes longer to recover from a fall. Where when you're younger, you fall on a bike, you might get your knee all tore up and everything, but you just get right back on that bike. So the older you get, the longer it takes for you to get over that stuff. I never thought I'd say that in my 40s, but here I am saying it now. The normal wattage on pedal assist 5 on this bike, it seems to be about 500 to 600 watts. And as you're going up a little incline, it'll climb a little bit, but 480 to 500 seems to be normal on a flat surface. Again, they do not have a percentage on this computer as far as your bike on battery degradation. They only have volts. And I know at about 54 volts, this thing is fully charged. And at 41%, it's fully discharged. So you got about a 13% range there that you got to keep an eye on. And I've got a chart that I can reference to when I look at my battery degradation on the voltage. It can tell me exactly what percentage that battery was probably at when it degraded to that voltage number. So got to keep that in mind when you're riding your bike. Again, I highly recommend this model for seniors. From a comfort standpoint, it is extremely comfortable. You may think I'm really feeling them bumps, but I'm not. I'm not sure how well this thing would have done yesterday on that rough trail. But on that aerial rider, I felt every bump. We'll see what's in the food pantry box today. Yesterday it was about half full. Some days it's completely empty. Other days it's pretty full. So I know there are several people coming up here and refilling this thing. Go around here, make it a little easier to get back on the trail. Okay, now that I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and drop my pedal assist to off. That's very important when you get off your bike, because you don't want that thing taking off on you. You hit that throttle as you're getting off and that bike's going to lunge on you, so be careful. Okay, today we're going to put ramen noodles only today. We'll go to Walmart today, so I need to buy another case of that for this food pantry, and buy a couple other items that are, maybe find some stuff on sale, or go to Aldi's. Average amount of stuff in here. The ladies' feminine product up there was what I brought yesterday, so hopefully somebody will come by and need that. I see a bunch of energy bars and mashed potatoes and in bags, and macaroni and cheese and applesauce and all kinds of good stuff. One thing of ramen noodles, different brand than I buy, but I'm gonna go ahead and put 2 more in here. So, little free pantry. Take what you need, donate what you can. Feed the creek. Yeah, my church is we're going to put one of these boxes at my church, and people can just come in the parking lot and go up and get it out of the food box. They don't have to come inside and feel embarrassed and all that. So we're in the process, as soon as we get the okay from the church that actually planted this one. It's our main campus. We're waiting on their okay, and I've got a guy that is an outreach pastor that just left the vineyard, going to go back into his construction business, says he can build these for $60, and that's including the wood. So I'm very happy to hear that, and we're going to get one of these put by my church. And I'm still trying to get a hold of the city of Dayton, Ohio, so I can put some downtown at Riverscape. But again, no response. I've been working on other things. I haven't had too much time to work on that. Again, electric bike company, Model R, and it stands for rugged. Great bike. It's got a 48 volt, 14 amp hour battery that sits in this down tube. This little thing here, you just flip over and take the key and unlock it. That thing comes forward, or you can leave it on the bike and charge it right here. It's got a 750 watt rear hub motor. I think it's more a 500. I still haven't contacted Electric Bike Company and figured that out, but it looks too small to be a 750. But again, it's got a stainless steel chain on it, which I just really like that. And this is a great design on this. It does have plastic fenders. You can order this thing any color you possibly want, hundreds of different colors. You can color the rims, the spokes, the fenders, the down tube, the seat post, the rack. Of course, price points go up. This thing starts at $2,500, and it's going to go up on every time you change color codes on that, because it's got to go through the paint booth several times on the parts in order to assemble the bike. Again, this it's got a 5 pedal assist levels, go all the way up to 5 and back down. Again, I'm gonna keep it on 0 till I get going. It's got a Tektro, I'm sorry, this one's got a Tektro Dorado hydraulic brakes, and it's got a 100mm disc rotor on it. It's got a quick connect to get the tire off. A lot of people don't like that due to somebody stealing it, but most of the time I'm not too worried about that. And again, it's got a really comfortable seat. This is the stock seat, and I will be leaving this one on here. Nice pedals, rubber, not plastic, and it's got a kickstand that really, this thing sits really sturdy on this. And of course, it's got a 7-speed Shimano shifter. I only keep it in usually 7th gear. I never go through the gears because I'll use the throttle if I need to. This basket came with the bike, this rack came with the bike, and this basket actually locks down to the rack, which is really neat. Of course, this little white styrofoam case was my wife that insulin come in on, and it fit in there perfectly so I can carry food items for the pantry box or tools I want to carry. It does have front hydraulic shocks on it, or I'm sorry, suspension, and very comfortable. Headlights right here, and then it's also got running lights here, and it's got it on the back of your rack as well. Now those aren't brake lights, those are just running lights. This thing is made in the United States, USA. Every part, I think a few are shipped in overseas, but most of these parts are built right in their factory, including the hub motor, the battery. They use either Samsung or LG. I think it's Samsung batteries. That's the best on the market. So we'll talk a little bit about the additional things I've bought so far for this bike. Cup holder I bought for this. Got to be drinking my coffee here. This a crooner light, thanks to Jersey Style. As you can see, it's very bright. So I got both of my lights on right now. And then I purchased these bar end mirrors. With these wraparound handlebars, it found a little bit difficult to find a mirror that actually sticks out, and I didn't want it to stick out too far anyway. And I think that is the only additional thing I put, except the phone holder, which I have this on all 3 of my bikes, this particular one. I can put this also in the description box of these items and where I got them. So anyway, that's a little bit about this bike. It's just a really, really comfortable bike. I'm not a paid sponsor for Electric Bike Company. They were generous enough to send this bike to me to review, but I would highly recommend this bike for seniors. They say that 80% of their market share is people from 50 to 60 years old. So they built this bike for seniors. They built it for comfort. They did not build it for speed. I would love to go to the factory someday out in California and review and look at how they do everything. If the Electric Bike Company would like me to come out there, and if they would maybe pay my airfare, I'd be glad to come out there and view their factory and do some video for on my channel. So anyway, that's more about the Electric Bike Company. We're going to hop back on the bike as I get a drink of coffee here. We're going to jump back on and we're going to head back home. How you doing? I had I drop stuff off here all the time. Is there any particular thing you guys like?
Just anything, really.
I mean, I bring in usually some hygiene products, toothpaste, things like that, but you know,
I get little snacks for my grandkids.
good for you.
So,
You know what? I wish they had these all over Dayton, but they don't. I'm trying to get them to put in Riverscape down there. I'd even build the box.
they definitely need them downtown.
They need them downtown bad.
Yeah.
But City of Dayton won't even,
For today, and I'll switch out stuff like that's.
they won't even call me back.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, you know, and this is something that the public needs.
That is.
You know, it's on parking lots. People don't have to ride a bike to get to it.
About a year ago, I was homeless, and these things saved my ass. I'll tell you what, they did.
Did they really? And you know, I have people come on my channel, and I won't show your face if you don't want me to, because I've been videoing for my channel.
Right.
I have people telling me that, oh no, people are homeless because they elect to be homeless.
Well, that's not true. I had a lot of health problems, and I had to quit my job, and I worked at a hotel, so
Yes.
I lived there at my job too. So when I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
You know, or he actually said people are homeless because they have to be. Some people elect to be homeless. I get that.
Yeah.
But you know what? This is very much needed in all over Dayton, all over the country.
Yeah. Just kindness is needed. Kindness is
You know, as a Christian,
necessary.
that's what it is.
Yep.
Showing God's love in a practical way.
Yep.
Jesus said, I was hungry and you fed me.
Yep.
That's all I have to know.
And we're human, so we're judgmental by nature, but we have
Oh,
to
we
have
are.
to judge with compassion.
Even as a Christian for many, many years, sometimes I'll look at somebody and I'll try to just faintly judge them. I'm thinking, well, here they are, you know, and I owned a pest control company, so I've been in many, many people's homes.
Right.
And I'm looking at these great big flat screen TVs on the wall, and everybody's got a cell phone, big fancy cell phone,
Yeah.
but they can't afford my services.
Yeah.
But I can't judge them that way. You can judge their actions,
Right.
can't judge their heart.
Right. Exactly.
Because you never know when that person just may reach out and help you.
Yep. Exactly.
So I always ask somebody that I see here, is there something in particular you'd like me to bring? What for your grandkids?
Yeah.
What do they, just snack stuff?
Just snacks. They're
Good.
They're little, teeny tiny, so they're hard to please. So.
I get by here 2 or 3 days a week, so.
Yeah. Yeah. But I come about 2 or 3. Well, probably 3 days a week, we'll say.
Good.
And like I'll go to the pantry. They have the
Yes.
pantry at Hartstone.
Yes.
This evening, so I'll go there, and then I'll bring half the stuff here.
Do you
'cause,
really? So
yeah.
you just, I was wondering who keeps refilling the box. Well, now I know.
There's lots of people.
Well, you know what?
Quite a few.
Keep on doing God's work and showing God's love in a practical
Always,
way.
Always.
All righty. You have a good day, ma'am. Turn my computer back on here. And I'm going to have to turn the pedal assist back on. Now, you get to the bottom button and you hold it. And that gets you back in the pedal assist levels that you want to go in. So, anyway, that was a really neat little conversation I had with her. As she was talking, she not only gets stuff out of here for her grandkids, she is also refilling the box. And that just really lifts my heart up to hear that. So there's a person taking and giving, and that's what the bottom of that box said. So there was my God appointment for the day. That's what I call them, God encounters or God appointments. You know, I could have not talked about the bike, done it at home, and just left, and I would have missed that opportunity to talk with somebody. I mean, there's so many people in need of this food that we take it for so much for granted. I have been there and done that, what she's going through. But I needed it because I wasn't working at the time. Jobs were hard to find in the early 70s. And I just had come out of the Navy. And I know what food stamps and welfare are all about. As I mentioned on earlier videos, I always said if I ever get to give back, I'm going to do it. To show God's love in a practical way. So whenever you're out and you can just help anybody with anything, it could be such an act of kindness of cutting their grass or raking their leaves or helping them around the house for the elderly and widows. There's such a need for that. And people that are my age and older, you want to do everything on your own. You really don't want to ask for help. But that's what we're supposed to do. As I read my Bible every day and I see some of the things that God is pointing out to me, He's showing me things that I had never seen before. I know a lot of non-Christians don't believe a lot of this stuff, but He's truly a good God. As He says, if He can get you to it, He'll get you through it. I love how she paraphrased that on judging people, and you know, we're not supposed to be judging people. That's the most hypocritical thing that non-Christians say about Christians, and they're right. We're still sinners. We're always going to be as long as we're in the flesh. We are far, far from perfect. I remember one little story. I was doing one of our food outreaches at my previous church I went to. We would feed probably 1,500 people every month through a mobile pantry. We had 2 or 3 different spots in Dayton that we would go on a particular day, and we would feed probably 400 to 500 people at a time sometimes. Might have been a little less. We had a lot of food given out in the back of our church pantry as well. But at one time we were feeding over 1,500 people a month. But I remember a lady at the one area that we were feeding, and it was really close yet to the place I went yesterday up in Huber Heights. And I remember the food outreach was about over. We were pretty much out of food. And she come up to me and she goes, "Is there anything left?" She goes, "My kids are hungry." Something to that nature. I can't quote back. It's been too many years. But I said, she said, "No, we're out, but I'm going to tell you what, if you can give me your address, or I can even meet you here, let me go to Walmart and buy you food, and I'll bring it back." So she gave me her address, and I said, "Look, I'll stand right outside. You can come out and get the groceries." To spend that $50, I had so much fun doing that, because I knew it was to help her. But the ironic thing was, when I got back to her apartment, she was not there. Now, after I look at that, I'm thinking, well, was that a God's angel talking to me at that point to check and see where my see where I was as far as obedience? And God will put you through them tests sometimes. But, or she just missed me at a time, I don't know. But I wound up having to take the food home. But I just remember that. And that's probably been 12, 15 years ago. But I'll never forget that little encounter. We got to pray with so many people in them food outreaches for jobs and health reasons. And, you know, if you've never been involved in a ministry, it's priceless. There are so many things you get out of it. God will bless you in areas you don't even know. And it could be blessings that you're not even expecting. Blessings are not always in financial rewards. So, I didn't mean to get off on a rant on Christianity. I know a lot of people don't like to hear it, but I know a lot of people do. That is part of my channel. Again, I call it showing God's love in a very practical way is all it is. Boy, that front headlight is, I can see it very well hitting the ground in this daylight, so it's pretty bright. That was just neat to hear her talk about giving her kids snacks. I thought that was really cool because, you know, little kids, that's what they want. They don't want solid food, they just want snacks. I knew when I grew up we didn't have snacks very much, we just couldn't afford it. My dad was a GM worker, but there was 4 kids. So I didn't really develop a sweet tooth till I was about 50. Then I think I'm addicted to candy bars. That's not good either. So yeah, if there's anything you guys can share on my channel about any of the ministry that you do, or how you may have helped a neighbor in need. And as God says, you know, sometimes you don't want to know what your left hand is doing. Left hand don't want to know what the right hand is doing. Don't do it for pride or gratification. That's what the Pharisees and the Sadducees did all through the Bible. Now, to share it on a bike channel, I kind of have to say it. But I just want you to witness with people that are receiving on that end of it too. My first prayer when I have prayer in the morning, when I'm reading my Bible, is I ask the Lord to have mercy on me, for I am a sinner. Every morning, that's the first thing that I pray. You know, sometimes sin can be by choice. And you know it's wrong because sometimes the Holy Spirit will convict you and tell you that was out of bounds. But you don't have a choice being a sinner. You're going to be a sinner if you're in the flesh. That's very clear in the Bible. So if there's anything you guys want to share as Christians, or even non-Christians, some of the things that you do, some of the blessings that God has given you, don't have to be financial. I mean, this bike alone was a blessing. For Electric Bike Company to send this bike to me is a blessing. You know, I kind of told them I want to review that bike at least twice a week for 4 to 5 months, and that's what I'm going to do. If they're nice enough to send me an e-bike, I'm nice enough to do positive, honest reviews. And if you guys don't know me by now, I can be very critical as well about certain items on a bike, but I want to give out the best review I can also. Because I have to look at it from a senior standpoint, not somebody 20 or 30. what will best fit my senior viewers. And this bike, without a doubt, fills everything about that. This is the bike for seniors. It's not the Side Rusher. It's not the Aerial Rider. And if I get the trike, that will probably be definitely for seniors. But these are some of the things that I point out on my channel that are very popular. And I've got a kid down the street. He's probably 18 years old. He can just fix anything. He's done a couple things on my e-bikes that I didn't know how to do. And so we're going to do a go-to video on how to do things on a bike. We may take one of my bikes and completely strip it down to nothing and rebuild it. I might do that on that Aerial Rider. So if you guys would really like to see a video on how to, let me know, and I'll get a hold of my friend, and we'll do that. We may do segmented videos where we'll do 10 minutes on something, 10 minutes on something else, but I think that's important. So if you guys would like to see that on my channel, let me know. Put it down in the comment section. I mean, I learn all the time on these bikes. I don't know a lot about the mechanical part of it. I can learn it, but I'm not one to just jump in and do it. Where this 18-year-old kid, he's gifted in that area. I've seen some of his work he does. I've seen him take a lawnmower that's thrown out on the curb, and he'll rebuild that lawnmower and sell them and make a little profit on them. But there's nothing on a lawnmower I don't think he couldn't fix. And it's really good to have a kid in the neighborhoods like that. I'll throw him a few extra bucks when he fixes something for me on my bikes. But from now on in, I'll start doing videos when we do that kind of stuff. This needs to be a how-to channel as well. I know there's bike channels out there like E-Bike Escape and some of those. Russ is Right may be another one. I really like his stuff as much as I like E-Bike Escape. They do a really nice job on their videos. And so does Jersey Style. If you guys have not watched his videos on the Side Rusher Komoda, he's very animated. That's what I like about him. And he's certainly got that Jersey accent, and I really like that. But I've seen some of the stuff he does, and he's very gifted at that stuff. He's like me, he's a gadget man. Every time I see something on eBay or Amazon or something I want for my bike, I buy it, and before you know it, I've got a cockpit on the front of my handlebars. So as we do these how-to videos, I'm also going to learn how to do things. I need brakes bled or filled on my Side Rusher, my right brake on it to the rear. There's not much brake to it. I don't know. I took it to a bike shop, but they didn't really want to mess with it. I still think he wanted to do it. So anyway, I'm going to go and stop the video here. We've come back to our point. We need to shut the camera off. So I want to thank you guys and share and like this video and subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell down there if you want to see videos when they're coming out. And I want to thank you. And this is Dan with Senior Ministry E-Bike Nation. I'll see you on the next video.